Yeah, back in early 2000, I was hanging out with this one chick that lived kind of far away. We weren't really doing anything other than just driving around, and I was mainly a chauffeur to things that I otherwise probably would not have access to, like strange, ravey type places. But anyway, it was kind of lame, but it was kind of fun because I didn't really get to do that much when I was growing up. So anyway, I was hanging out with this druggy chick, who was 18 or whatever the fuck, and it's like, it's weird too because I've never done drugs, which is kind of weird to be hanging around with a druggie. Yeah, go figure. But so over the course of hanging around with her, I pointed out, some of the paranormal shit that I know about and stuff, and even at that point, I'd still had quite a few experiences and shit, and she was telling me how she is very convinced that things were in her house. And I do believe that there was, as you'll see. Mainly... Oh, God, what the fuck? Where does this piece go? I'm getting so sick of seeing little pieces of hair here. Hopefully you're not seeing them, but God. I might as well own dogs or some shit again. Anyway. She had told me how she had, some kind of spirity type shit going on in her house and stuff. And, it's like, this was even before, like, what do you call it, Ghost Adventures was on, or I don't even know if Ghost Hunters was around yet. In any case, I was interested in that kind of paranormal hunting type shit long before that. I remember MTV had a show that was canceled too soon called MTV Fear, and that was a pretty cool show. I mean, it was. And... just like MTV Amp, which they should not have canceled. They're so stupid. Fucking MTV. But it's like, I was always interested in the ghost hunting scientific aspect of it, I just never had any equipment with which to do that. But, she was like, yeah, I got shit going on in my house. And she told me this tragic story, about her father and stuff. And, I don't know. I even then I was kind of untrusting of people a little bit, and how much of it was true I do not know. But it was a hell of a story. God, it was tragic. But I don't know if it was all the way true or not, or if it was total bullshit. I don't know. But there was something in her house. There was one night she was over there. Well, obviously it's her house. I was up there for the night. She had her 13-year-old friend with her. I think he was 13. I don't know. In any case, they were both. They both were like the kind of people where it's like they get together and they turn into little monsters. It's like sometimes when two people to get together, they love each other like immediately. Some people, two people meet and they turn into just these creative individuals who work perfectly with each other. Sometimes two people meet and they want to kill each other. Sometimes two people meet and they just want to fuck each other's brains out. In their case, when those two got together, they turned into little demons. Like, they would just synchronize. I mean, this 18-year-old chick and this 13-year-old chick, and they would just synchronize into little fucking monsters. And I mean that. They were bad little people. And, I mean, it was kind of funny to watch and observe, but at the same time, it was also kind of taxing on one's brain just to watch these two go fucking bonkers. I know, it sounds funny. But, yeah. Shit. So, she asked me to, be there one night. And, one part of me was going, she wants to get frisky. But no, she actually did want me there to investigate, I guess you could say. Or at least, keep some kind of peace. Because, I mean, she was like, come up and see what you can see. And at the same time, it sounded like she just wanted to have a good night's sleep. Like, maybe something really was fucking around with her at night. I don't know. I kind of got that impression by the time I left, that's for sure. And, yeah, so what they did was, there was a room over here. There was like this little living room upstairs. And over here was her bedroom. And over here where I was this little side bedroom. and the doors were open, and I had a direct line of sight from my room into their room. And she had a mattress up against the wall. She slept there, and her little friend slept on underneath a comforter type, blankety type thick thing on the floor. And I stayed up because I'm like that, and I have really good night sight. I can see like nothing in the dark. It's so easy. I don't know. I think I have weird eyes. I don't know. I don't understand it myself. And it's like, so I stayed up and awake, and I kind of just watched guard, which is kind of felt like my whole point all through life. I'm always guarding people. I'm always guarding people and helping people. I don't know. I don't know what I am. Off the subject. So I'm just, staying awake, and I am fucking tired. I am fucking exhausted, but I am also fired up because I know that once everything starts to sleep, I go into this mode where I guard things that are sleeping. God, that sounds really weird, doesn't it? Huh. And so, fuck. There it is. So what happens is I'm sitting there, and I hear snoring, just snoring from those two, and I'm watching them. I can see them or I can see at least the one on the floor from where I am. I can't see her. But I hear her snoring, and I've heard her snoring before, so I knew what it was. And it, what do you call it? I hear a phone ring, and I hear her answer it. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what the fuck? That's coming from downstairs. That's her answering the phone. It's like, hello? Yo, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude? And I'm like, what? But she's over there snoring. How is that? And I remembered she has a fucking parrot or myna or something like that. One of those expensive, awesome birds. So the bird had listened to her answer the phone so ghetto so many times that it actually perfectly mimicked her. And I was like, okay, I'm just hearing her fucking bird. I get it. That was kind of funny. And so later on, I was getting tired, but I got my second wind and shit. And I start hearing the sound of glass. No, not glass, plates. I hear plates clinking. And I'm like, okay, that might be the bird, because maybe the bird's heard ceramic plates clinking before, so that could be what I'm hearing then. And I don't quite buy it though. I don't think it's the bird making those sounds. So I'm full alert at this point, And I'm trying to figure out if it's coming from the kitchen or upstairs, which is kind of fucking weird. Why would I be hearing dishes upstairs? Right? And it's like all of a sudden I'm looking over at their room because, that's kind of what I'm guarding, I guess you could say. And all of a sudden I see some kind of movement. Like, it wasn't a person I saw. I saw, was it I don't know, something gaseous almost, I guess you could say. I don't know. It wasn't human. I mean, it wasn't like formed enough to really get a good beat on it, honestly. It was just kind of there. And, I'm like, what's that? And I didn't really know, It was something moving, and it was kind of like I could see, like, here's the doorway, and I could see the kid sleeping here, but I saw just, like, something here, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is that, And then, like, 2 seconds later, the kid on the floor, he wakes up, and he's like, oh, fuck! I mean, at first he wakes up, and he's just like, huh? What? And then he just starts, cursing like fucking crazy. And he has tears in his eyes. And I'm like watching this. I didn't bust in there. I didn't go, I'll come, and go running in there. I stayed. I observed. I know that sounds cold, but I just sat there and I observed it. And he was flipping out like a motherfucker. I fucked up, didn't I? Did I? I don't know. He started losing his shit. He was flapping around like a fucking bird, and then she wakes up, and she's like, "What the fuck?" She's freaking out now, and they're both losing their fucking shit, and it's kind of comical actually to watch that. But I'm like, okay, time to appear. So I walk in, and ouch. So I walk in, and they're both, she's standing up on the bed, he's standing up on the floor, and there is shit all over the place. And by shit, I mean there is beads everywhere. Like kind of like the last video I did, where I was talking about how I'm sitting there with my wife, my ex-wife, and all of a sudden, like, these papers just exploded everywhere. It was kind of like that. It was like beads were just every fucking where. And they were flipped out. I mean, I looked. It was all over him, or all over his bedding, on the floor. It was all over her bed. It was on surfaces everywhere. It was all over the fucking room. It was almost like somebody just picked up a bunch of beads and went, whee! And, like, it landed everywhere perfectly. It was really fucking odd. And I'm missing a red piece here. This piece, I don't have a duplicate of that. It's not here. Nope. I don't have a piece. Well, goddamn fuck shit. Anyway, so they're these poor guys. They are flipping the fuck out, and they're like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And I'm like, well, before you jumped up, I did see something, and I don't know what it was. And on top of that, I go, it sounded like glass almost, like maybe glass. I don't know. And I'm looking around the room for what it could have been, and my sight levels on ceramic. I'm looking at her dresser. Now, before I had started doing what I was doing, I made sure to, how do I say this? I kind of took this little jewelry box that she had, and just on an instinctive kind of thing, I went, shh, and I pushed that all the way up against the mirror. Because I don't know, I just had an instinctive idea that if something were going to move, it would probably be something like that, maybe. I don't know, it was just a thought. It was a thought, and I went with it, and it seemed to be correct. So, they're like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? And I'm like, I think this happened. And I just took it, and I pushed it, and, and sure enough, it made the exact same sound. I did hear a shuffling sound before this. That actually happened, And not only that, I go, watch this, and I pick up, what do you call it? Oh, I'm doing this all wrong, aren't I? I did this way wrong. I picked up the lid, which was now somewhere else, and I took it over to the jewelry box and went, tink, tink. I'm like, that's the clinking plates I heard right there. And, so I'd figured it out, I mean, shit. That was pretty fucking crazy. So, something right in front of my eyes practically had taken all the beads. It had shuffled the jewelry box forward, which I did hear. I forgot to mention that. I did hear it shuffle. I heard like a slidey, kind of grindy shuffle. And then it just shot the beads from inside all over the fucking place. A hell of a cleanup job. And, it wasn't her. She was on the other side of the room and snoring. And clearly no means of doing what happened. And on top of that, he was on the floor, also pretty well snoring. And he did not do that, obviously. And yeah, shit. It was kind of cool, but at the same time, I can understand why they were so freaked out. It's just kind of funny, too. I mean, I'm not to make fun of them and stuff, but they were trying so hard to be little gangsters the whole fucking time, and then it's like, they meet up with something like that and they turn into the world's biggest pussies. It was just kind of fun in that respect. I know, that's almost condescending and mean to say, but it's true. It was kind of funny. I don't know what to do. I need to find a red part. I'll be right back.